Today I will be discussing my animation project to help primary school students to learn about the physical forces and enforce a better learning experience. I have created an interactive animation to teach primary school students about the following types of forces. This includes magnetism, gravity, friction, pushes and pulls, and air and water resistance. All of these animations have been put together in one application, and the user can trigger a demonstration of a specific force by selecting a button. I have created the objects and animated them in 3ds Max. I then added the buttons by putting the animations into Unreal Engine 5 and using the user interface tool to make it more interactive. So what was my inspiration for creating this project? Well, I studied physics up to BTEC level and found it very interesting. I was particularly interested in the study of forces, and I enjoyed the experiments. Magnetism was one of my favourite topics. However, I was not initially interested in learning about forces when I was younger because of the way it was taught. I actually hated science lessons at primary school because I found them really boring. I think the way it was taught is aimed at neurotypical children who can sit and listen and talk about the topics. Since I am autistic, it didn't work for me, and I don't remember anything I was taught. I think faculties like Eureka and Eurasian are better at engaging with children. They have lots of exhibits where children can interact and find out more about science in a fun way. I'd want to design a tool that schools could use. This tool would focus on the forces that are covered in primary school at a level that children can understand. This tool will be a more exciting way of teaching children with interaction, colourful designs and interesting sounds, which would appeal to neurotypical and neurodiverse children. I want to combine my negative experiences as a primary school child with the knowledge I gained as a student to help autistic children, especially to be interested in science lessons and enjoy them more than I did. So what problems did I need to account for in my project? One thing I need to consider was the suitability of my project. The projects I had completed in my degree had not been aimed at a particular age group. They had been aimed at solving a particular challenge. For this project, I had to consider who the tool was at every stage so that it was fit for purpose. Even at the planning stage, I had to include only the forces that primary school children learn about and not make it too complicated for them. A key goal was to make it easier for all primary school students to learn by making the content more stimulating and easier for them to understand. I needed to make the design appealing to young children, and it needed to be easy to use. I ensured there was enough information for children to understand what's going on without overwhelming them. Since many autistic children like playing computer games more than doing group exercises with their friends, the tool should be particularly attractive for them. This means using bright colours. I also made sure to use clear models and easy to read text. I also avoided any flashing lights, as many autistic children are sensitive to these. The main objective of my project was to show the impact on objects for the following forces, each in a different section. I wanted to design a suitable background for each section and create buttons for the user to apply the force and make it clear how to use them. I wanted to show movement and produce funny sounds in response to the force. So what progress have I made so far on my project? Well, to create my application, I had to research what forces primary school students have learnt. This was to ensure my application was correctly suited to that target audience. I have also done some research on neurodivergent children and how this impacts their learning, and what can be done to help them and what makes it harder for them. Artifact development. For my artifact development, I created all my models and created the animations for all required forces. Here is an example prototype of the animation for the force magnetism. As shown on my Gantt chart, I plan to have finished my models and created my animations. I should have also added some buttons. This is in line with my current progress, and I will soon have my application fully complete. By the end of the semester, I should have a fully functioning application. This means I should have run through all tasks to ensure all interactivity and animations move smoothly as expected. I should also have ensured my application is easy to use and engaging and suitable for all primary school kids, depending on their abilities, specifically taking into account neurodivergent kids, which is the main focus for my project. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed learning about my animation project.